Hello, and welcome to something new for the Rising Goddess channel. I'm excited. We're going to see how this goes. I'm really excited. So let's just get started. What you have clicked onto is the reading for the first week of June 2019. So, depending on which pile you resonate with will determine as to what goddess you resonate with. So, here we have three goddesses. You can choose which one goddess you are currently resonating with. So, the first goddess that we have is Lilith. Lilith is the first goddess. She's Scorpio. She is a black goddess. She is one of destruction for reconstruction. Then we have Hecate. And then, of course, we have Isis. Isn't that funny? I love that Lilith and Isis both came up. Although both of them are my favorite goddesses. I just love them all. So, depending on what goddess you resonate with, go ahead and take a few deep breaths and close your eyes and ground yourself. Just align yourself with the present moment, with the energy of the picture of the goddess that you are resonating with, and then we will go ahead and get started. So for those of you who resonate with Lilith, here, Lilith is such a beautiful card here. I love these goddess cards. This is my Moon Oracle deck. So, for those of you who chose Lilith for the first week of June, the energy for you to be focusing on for the first week of June, we have the Strength card. So this is the Strength card. This number 8, we see here we've got the Lamnisket, which is indicating the universal sign of support, the universal support. And what I love so much about this Strength card and this particular one is, in some of the other tarot decks, we see that there is the woman who is mastering or on top or forcing the lion's mouth open. And in this deck, what I love so much is that she is knelt down on the same level, and we can see it's more of a compassionate aspect. So what to focus on this week is really, the Strength card was really shadow work. The lion here represents the beast within, so to speak, but which is really just the hurt shadow aspects of yourself, which really correlates with Lilith. Lilith comes through as the goddess to come through and remove any sort of illusions, remove any of the gunk and the chaos and the clutter within yourself, to create space and make room. And that's the same with the Strength card. It takes strength to go through and do shadow work within yourself and really be able to face the aspects of yourself that you have cast away, whether that is through shame, whether that's through fear, whether that's through conditioning or programming. This week, for those of you who chose and resonated with Lilith, really the energy for you to focus on this week is getting down, integrating your shadow aspects of yourself, doing all of that healing work. And it really correlates with the new moon that starts off, right, on the 3rd or 4th. So this is really a fantastic time for that. So what might be blocking you, for those of you who chose Lilith, is the Knight of Swords. Now, the Knight of Swords comes now in court cards. Of course, if you're not familiar with tarot, court cards are really the mastery level of it, and knights also represent messages. So what might be blocking as well, Knights of Swords are a really fast message. So watch your words. What are the words that you are speaking? Not only the words to yourself, but the words to the people in your life. Swords represent air, communication, thought processes, ideals, and knights are very fast. And this knight comes in with a very pure message, although it's a sword, so it's going to be a double edge. It's going to hurt nonetheless, whatever this message is that's coming for you, whatever this block is that's happening within you, whenever you hear that, it's going to hurt, but it's also going to be a refreshing, because then you're going to be able to move through it. Knights are all about movement. So whatever is blocking you, whether it's this ideal, whether it's this thought process, whether it's this particular message that's coming to you, and it's a message that it's not so much of an external source. It's really almost like a confirmation message of an internal block that's happening. So it's like you're going to hear something that is going to confirm this block within you. And it's different for all of you who chose Lilith, even though it's the same type of energy of the block, it's a different type of block. It could be, again, it could be a verbal block. It could be a mindset. It's really more of a mindset. It's really a belief. I really feel like that there's this message that's coming. You're going to hear something, whether it's going to be through a conversation through somebody, whether it's going to be through this reading that you're listening to or watching right now, whether it's going to be through a conversation you're having with your friends or on television, on the radio or something. You're going to hear something, and this message is going to hit you into a point. It's going to cause some emotional discomfort, right? Emotional discomfort because of the double-edged sword, but it's going to be from a pure place. So this is going to be a wonderful thing, even though this is a block right now. Whatever this is, you're going to be able to move through it because it is a night. So what next steps to take? We have the Four of Wands. Four of Wands represents stability. Wands, we see them here. They're celebrating up a party. This is a home aspect of everything. So the next step to take is really focusing on your home aspect and the joyous aspect of it, celebrating, whether that's a celebration of a marriage or graduation time, or even just celebrating a summer or a birthday party. But the next steps to take is really to focus on for the first week of June is focusing on the fun, focusing on the joyous structure, the aspect of fun. And we are moving into summer, and so it's really just a fun, bright card. We see all the wonderful fruits, so there's abundance that's happening. So the next steps to take is really find the joy, the gratitude within the celebration that's happening with everything that's going on. And then the outcome of the week for those of you that chose Lilith is the World. And the World we see here is a final achievement. It's succession. It's the last card in the Tarot deck in the Major Arcana. We have all of the elements here, and we have the Dancer right there in the middle. And so when the World comes, we know that we're at final achievement. We know that we've succeeded. We are at this achievement level, but also understand, because she is the World, she is in front of the wheel of life as well. So just because this one achievement is happening, celebrate, enjoy, right? Which goes along with your next step here. Celebrate and have fun and have joy and gratitude, but realize you don't want to stay there because there's still more work to do. So for those of you who chose Lilith, that is what's happening. So let's move on to Hecate for those of you who picked Hecate. So the first one for you to focus on for this week, we have the Five of Cups. Now this card comes through. It tends to have a lot of distraught feelings, sad energy, despair energy. We see that he's there. He's got his head down. The cups are spilled and he's facing to the left. But what he doesn't see is to the right, is she's standing there with two cups still filled. So what are you going to focus on this week for those of you who chose Hecate? You're going to be focusing on letting go. You're going to be focusing on moving and through the emotional process. You're going to allow yourself to grieve. You're going to allow yourself to become aware of whatever is happening because you have been bypassing these feelings. And so for those of you who chose Hecate, what you're focusing on for the first week is you are going to focus on allowing yourself to feel the emotions that you have been bypassing. And then you're going to move through them. You're going to move through them. You're going to pick your head up and you're going to look towards the right and realize that you're able to transmute those feelings. It's when you're able to transmute it, you're allowing yourself to acknowledge the feeling. You're accepting that that's how you're feeling. And then you're making a decision to choose to feel a better way. And then you are taking the actionable steps energetically, emotionally, spiritually, and physically to move that energy through and focus on the other two cups that are there, focusing, ready for you to take action with. Now, what might be a block for you, for those of you that chose Hecate? Five of Swords. Fives, although represent opportunity, they also can represent change and conflict. We see here the Five of Swords. Swords again represent thoughts, beliefs, ideas, communication. And we see here that it's like these two people are giving their swords. They're like, fine. They're like, here, take it. So there's a conflict. There's a conflict of words. So what might be going on for this first week for you for June is really any sort of verbal conflict that's happening within your world that is really kind of making you, it's almost like the conflict that's happening that you may feel as a block is what you've been bypassing. So it seems like this is the week where you're going to actually get to the point of actually having that verbal conflict and actually realizing, is it time to walk away? Is it time to walk away? Is it time to just drop it and just keep move forward? It's not the Eight of Cups, where you're leaving something that you've put all of this emotional energy in, but it seems like that there's just no, it's like there's no hope. It's like you're never going to get past this particular type of it. So this seems to be a conversation that you have been bypassing, and it's time to stop bypassing this conversation and have it. And that's probably a block that is preventing you from having what it is that you really truly want, which your next steps to take is the Ten of Pentacles. Now, Ten of Pentacles is really all about, we see here, we've got the family, they're together, they're looking, they got the dogs, we've got the Oracle here in the front, and she's pulled the Ten of Diamonds, which is really all about the finality, right? 10 is all about finality. It's the beginning and the end. Ones are always new beginnings. Zeros are always beginnings and ends. It's infinity and circular, right? And so pentacles are representing the earthly aspects, but it also represents conventional earthly aspects. So the next steps to take are really focusing on the conventionality of your, I don't want to say income. I don't want to say like pay, but it's like the financial aspect of your, okay. Here we go. So for those of you that chose Hecate, it seems like this conversation that needs to be had that's been blocking these next steps for you to move forward. And financial stability, that's the word I'm looking for. Financial stability within your family. There's this conversation. You need to have this conversation. That's what's blocking this financial stability. And so the outcome is the Knight of Pentacles. Now, what is so great about the Knight of Pentacles? Because it feels like for those of you that chose Hecate, it seems like that there's a lot of emotional work that's happening around your financial situation right now, which is that conversation, but it seems like it's really the family aspect. So whether there's a conversation with a spouse or a child or a parent or whatever the case may be, that conversation needs to happen to move forward, to take these next steps towards achieving that. And then the outcome again is the Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles, really again, we have knights representing movement. Now the Knight of Pentacles is the least romantic, it's the least conversational. This knight is all about strategically working, always moving forward. It's always manifesting. Pentacles are representing the earth, of course, different material aspects of things, whether that's materializing relationships or monies or careers or whatever the case may be. And again, knights are movement. Now you can see here, we look down and there's a lot of dust kicking up, which means he's moving very fast, right? But he's very methodical. So the outcome of your first week of June, there's going to be a conversation, there's going to be an emotional work that's happening, there's going to be some clarity, and then there's going to be some methodical strategizing that's going to help you get to the goal that you want. Okay, so that's for those of you who chose Hecate. Now, for those of you that chose Isis, what you're going to be focusing on this week, look at this, we have another knight. Now, we have knights in all three of you, which means that all of you who chose this week, it doesn't matter which goddess you chose, there is movement happening for you in the first week of June. So for those of you, again, who chose Isis, Knight of Wands, this is what to focus on for the week. Now, this knight is really one of my favorite knights. I think it's because of the Egyptian reference and everything like that. I do find myself geeking out on all of the anything Egypt aspects of anything. So moving on before I digress, we have the Knight of Wands. Wands represent fire. They are the passion, the will, the fiery aspect. When we think of fire, we think fast moving. When we think of knights, we also think fast moving, as well as messages. Of course, every night that comes through, there's a message that is coming, whether that's a message coming directly to you from someone or something, or through someone or something in a particular case. So the Knight of Wands comes through for you on to focusing on is really focusing on the adventure, the speed of your adventure. The Knight of Wands is very, adventurous and passionate and will-driven. Excuse me. And very curious and ready to keep going. It's this aspect of go, 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 go. You know, it's not so much hustle, hustle, hustle anymore, but is really so much as the fact of go, go, go. It's time to do it. You're feeling adventurous. You're feeling passionate. You're feeling aligned. You're feeling fiery and ready to go. It's like your sacral chakra is all round, fired up and ready to go. So what might be blocking you? Oh my, look at that as the Emperor, the High Priestess comes through as what might be blocking you. This is really one of my favorite cards. I love this Steampunk Tarot deck. If you don't have it, I highly recommend it. the high priestess comes through as a block. Why? How can the high priestess come through as a block? Well, the high priestess is all about wisdom manifest, right? She's all about the mysterious aspect of it. She's all about the understanding through experience. So as you see here, she's holding on to 2 cards. There's 5 cards dealt, but she's holding on to 2 cards. She wants you're not supposed to know this next step, right? So what's blocking you is you're feeling like you're supposed to know what the next step is to happen, and you don't know what that next step is. You don't know what that next step is going to be, and that scares you, and that's absolutely normal. Now understand, we've got again the lemniscates, right, the infinity symbols that are going through the gears. So you've got also the poles. This is an acolyte card where we have 2 on the sides of everything, whether this comes also in temperance card, this comes in the justice card, this comes in the Lovers card, right? But you have universal support. So no matter what, even though you may not know the answer right now, you will, and it will happen, but you will understand the answer through experience. You're not supposed to know the answer right now. So what next steps to take for those of you who chose Isis? We have Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is the most motherly, luxurious queen. I love the look. As you can see on her face, she's looking like right directly at you. She's coming and she's walking down the stairs. She's very lavish, but she's also very comfortable. If it's not comfortable, it doesn't make sense for her. So your next steps are to really luxuriate yourself, fall in love with yourself, self-care with yourself. You will learn the answer and what's blocking you when you tap into your feminine energy and you go and you do your self-care. Self-care is really something that has been challenging for you and difficult for you. And it's time to be able to focus on that. So those are your next steps. And then the outcome, for those of you who chose Isis, is the Fool. Now, while this may seem like it's kind of crazy as this being the outcome because the Fool is at the beginning of the deck, this is also, again, he's the number 0, which is endings and beginnings. It is infinite. So you are moving into a new level, not so much maybe a physical level of traveling, because I don't see the 6 of Swords or the Chariot, but what I do see is a different spiritual level. You are leaping into another vibrational field within your own spiritual awareness. And it really takes, and this is where you feel like this confusion is this blocking that's happening because you're not sure what's going on. So it's very important to do self-care for yourself. Do focus on self-care, so then that way you'll get it. You'll feel that answer through your self-care, and then you'll take that leap. And again, this is a leap of faith. This is a leap into a new adventure and exciting awareness, which makes sense because what you're to focus on this week is the adventure. So what wonderful first week of June that we have here. What I am going to do is also input a Sacred Rebel creative card. And so let's go ahead and see. Okay. Okay, so for those of you who chose Lilith, the Sacred Rebel card that came through is the perfection of your life. Now, there's some chaos that's happening. There's a thunderstorm that's brewing that's within your world right now. And sometimes it can feel like you're not sure if you're in the right moment. You're not sure if you're doing everything. Understand that what's happening in your life right now is purposeful. This storm is cleansing away and helping you see the perfection of your life at the core base vibration of it. So trust that the chaos is going to leave. Trust that you are going to be stepping into new clarity and the clearness after this storm. The calm, the clarity is coming. Utilize the chaos energy to get clear and move it through, and allow yourself to dance, allow yourself to move that emotion through and get yourself to the point of releasing all attachment to control and realize that all of this is part of your natural life cycle. For those of you who chose Hecate, releasing allegiances, you have been doing so much work within yourself, and you are ready to leave. You've been going through multiple different growth and vibrational frequencies and vibrational fields, and you're ready to release. You're ready to release the relationships that no longer work for you. You're ready to release the beliefs that no longer work for you. And it's okay to go into silence. It's okay to go into repose. It's okay to go into yourself and allow yourself to fully release any sort of attachments to what no longer serves you. And for those of you who chose Isis, the Sacred Fool, the Sacred Fool comes out again is to allow you are the one that is going on a new journey. Step on this new journey. The decisions that may look crazy are the right ones. You're on the right path. Have fun, play, enjoy yourself, and don't forget you are worthy of this beautiful, loving journey. Thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful first week of June. Bye-bye.